All right, guys, I'm in the office today, and out of request, I'm going to start a little bit of a series here on how to use ProPresenter, how we're going to start from scratch, and how we're gonna move through it, setting up different things called looks and scenes. And I'm assuming by now you've already got your screen set up. I'll touch on that just a little bit, but not too much, because I want to get into some other. It's not more important. You can find a lot of videos on, how to set up your screens and everything like that to make sure that ProPresenter can see them and which screen it can tell which one's which. But I want to get more into how we make ProPresenter look good, how we import songs, things like that. I've gone into a little bit, but we're going to dive in a little more now. So let's go ahead and switch to this view. This here is ProPresenter. It is probably the best presentation software. Some people like a few others. I know Easy Worship is a cheaper one. That's one thing, is you really get what you pay for with ProPresenter. So there's another one that I cannot place the name of right now. I just cannot think of it. It's a popular one as well, though. But this right here, this is ProPresenter, and everybody loves it. I think it's probably the best presentation software that's out there. So ignore some of these. These are some of our church folders. I create everything over here. I also do not have like the paid subscription in my office. You can you can have the free version that you cannot present because it will have a watermark every 30 seconds or something. But you can at least create stuff on it and take the presentation you've made over to your subscription computer, which is awesome. So I've found that it's easier to do some of my stuff either from home or from my office and take it over afterwards, because working that long in the sound room is not always the most comfortable. As if you're watching this video, you probably already know that. So if I was gonna start from scratch right now, go ahead and locate your default folders, your library here. That's where all your songs that you bring in will be stored. You can have different folders. It is easily cluttered as well. I plan on cleaning some of that up at our church computer here soon. And then you have playlist. So this is just a random thing, but your playlist is like, what are you doing for church this Sunday? So ours will contain things like our announcements, our just a logo that we throw up of our church, things like our contact information, how to give. It launches things such as how our online stream announcements, because we stream through ProPresenter. So if you don't have your screen set up, I would look up another video, but you configure your screens. So I have two picture screens, but the other one is on OBS right now. So I'm ignoring this one. Everything I said to here. When we go into more of a presentation style, I will switch it around. You guys have seen me do it before. And then if you have I recommend putting some sort of screen, even if it's like a TV, in the back of your sanctuary or wherever you're having church, and that'll be your straight stage screen. You add it here. And this is like this box right here is a preview of it. Over here, this of whatever you want it to be. So screen one would be whatever we're presenting. Stage screen is what's on the back of the room. In our main sanctuary, they like to have the stream output, the stream show in there. Don't know why, but they do. Different things can be here. Different audio playlist. Your stage screen setups can be here. Your countdowns, we have different countdowns. This is things such as messages you can send to the screen. Very useful. Props. I don't have any on this computer, but I use them. That is our stream video. And then macros. You can see another here. We don't need them right now. And I'm just going to delete them because I want us to start from scratch. So the first thing I would do is I would edit my looks. Looks are going to be what... let me show you something. Go to screens, edit looks. This is default, but let's go ahead and make a scene real quick. I'm going to call this worship. Perfect. So when I'm on worship, here is all of our layers. So ProPresenter works in layers. You have masks. I really don't know what those do, but you have messages, what you just saw, props, announcements. So if your props are up, none of these can be seen because it works in layers, kind of like clothing layers. You don't see the shirt somebody has on under a coat because the coat is layered over it. So if the messages are up, it covers the props. Down at the bottom, we have slides and then your media because you can see words over the backgrounds. So that makes sense, right? And then video input. So I only have screen 1 set up. In our other sanctuary, we also have our stream input here. So, I would just put video input and slides. Very simple. And then let's leave this alone for right now because we're about to set this up. Let's go to more up here. We're going to create a theme. And the cool thing about ignore this, I did a video on this already, how we have our chord charts on the back screen. So if you missed that, you can go look at that if you're curious what this is. But let's create a theme. So this is our current one. The theme is just called Theme Slide. This is a lyric from a song somebody we know. They wrote it and we do it at church. So figure out how much of the page you want it to take up. Go up the text and give it, whatever font. I use the CMG Sans, which I get from Church Motion Graphics. I believe it's free. You should go get it. It really just stands out. I think they're great. We have it at font 72. It's boldened, but you can give it different things. You can give it a stroke. If you want to be able to see it up against other backgrounds easy, you give it a stroke. I don't feel the need to do that anymore because oftentimes we have a black box around it. Trying to look for it. It might not even necessarily be on this computer. I might have created it on our other computer. But that's easy. If I was going to do that, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to take the text box because I make all of our slides 2 lines. Let's go ahead and move these in a little bit. Let's center it again and move it to the middle. Oh, oops. There we go. So if I wanted a black box, I would take this and I would go to shape, fill. I don't want that. We have white lyrics, so we're going to go with black background. And you can even take that and I believe you can give it opacity too. You can make it to where it blends in a little more. So it's more faded, something like that. I think that's great. So you can use any backgrounds you want and people can still see all of the lyrics. So we use that a lot. And then, so let's take what we just built. We'll go to edit looks again. You can do, looks like command exclamation point. Yeah. And we're going to go to our worship presentation. Press on presentation and let's just find what we just did. I believe this is it right here. Is this what we just made? Yep. So let's make that live. And what I'm going to do here is add a macro. I'll just name it after the scene, worship. Here you can do all things. You can change the icon, the color. I already renamed it. So let's add an action, audience look, and worship. And as we make more looks, you'll see more pop up. So let's go ahead and add a song real quick. Whatever songs we can think of. Let's just go Trust in God. We're going to import it. I use song select. You can also use multi-tracks. If you're not using one of those, you'll type them all in manually. And if you don't have CCLI, I don't even know if it's legal to do that. So I definitely recommend going with something like that. But let's go for this. I'll go to our default folder, import. It's in our default folder here. And let's go ahead and edit it a little bit. One thing I'm going to do is add a blank slide. Oh, I forgot to do something. Let's go back to our theme editor. So this box here, press visibility, and slide object has text. That means now that when we're going to put a background on it as well, just so we can see a little better. These look like Christmas backgrounds. I gotta have some here. I do. Let's go random one. So you can see up here in the right corner. So there's no black box there. There would be if I didn't have that visibility set. So let's press reflow real quick. And I'm gonna go with 2 lines all throughout this song. And you don't have to do this every time you play the song because it will save in your folder just like this. So when we created that scene, I created it with 2 lines. If you want to do 4 lines, you can. If you want to do 8 lines, you can. I mean, you're totally free to do that. These I'm just going to do like this. The main reason I like 2 lines is because we send those words to our stream, and I like the way it looks a lot more. So here they are. And as you can see, it stands out still on this background because we have this little black box behind it. And that's how you create a look there. So I don't know that I have any. So I have the King James Version. That is the Bible I have that we can use. So let's use it. So let's create another theme. When it comes to scriptures, what we have is verse and reference. So ProPresenter, when you import it, it knows what the verse and what the reference is. So I'm going to delete that. Press this T to add text. And what did I just tilted it. Command Z is to undo stuff. You're going to want to know that. All right, so I'm going to move this up. And I'm going to name this verse. I'm going to put the reference way at the bottom because why not? But you can put it wherever. You can put it over here. You can add it wherever you want. Let's go ahead and call this reference. I'm going to give these each a shared font. So I'm going to go back to CMG Sans. I just like that. You can use whatever you want. So we have this here. Let's name it sermon. Let's go back to our edit looks and let's create a new look. We'll name it sermon because we know this will work with imported scripture. Add another macro, press the plus. There it is. You can name these whatever you want. You don't have to name it sermon because I'm doing it. It's just helpful to me. So we have our default playlist here. Let's create a playlist or a library called scripture because all that scripture is going to want to import to somewhere. So let's go to our Bible here. Options. Our theme is going to be sermon. Import library, scripture. So we can show verse numbers. Yep, break on new verse. If you want the translation showing, sure, go ahead. Break on new verse. I like that. Passage last. Whatever. Verse references. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I like that. So let's go with John chapter 1. Verses 1 through 10. In the beginning was the Word. Word was with God. Word was God. We're going to go down here and press Save As. And we're going to save to our second playlist here, the one we're using today. Oh, I forgot to put Trust in God in there. So now for our service we're building right now, we have one song and we have one scripture. So came up just as we set it to come up. And then now, because the scripture's up here, you can reflow it. You know, you can go through there and change it all however you want. You can go back to your scene if you want, or I mean your theme. You can make it all bigger. You can do whatever you want to do. You can say, oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't press this macro. When you press this macro, it's going to switch from worship to sermon. So watch this. I'm going to drag the macro right onto here. So when I press it, it changes these things. So I'm going to go back to my theme. And I'm going to take both these here. Yeah, small text, 42. I'm going to make them bigger. So let's try it again. That looks much better. And you know what? I don't even think I need media here. So I'm going to cut it off because we don't even hardly use media when it's time for the sermon. I can press through here just like this. And then that same thing, when it's time for worship, I'll press the worship macro and it switches right back. Now watch what happens when I don't press the sermon macro. But because I dragged it onto here, and there's one more cool thing you can do. After you've imported all your scripture, select the first one, go to the bottom, press shift. This selects everything. You right click anywhere on the scripture, add action, audience look, and you can do sermon. Now they're all set up that way. And you can do that for these songs too. Watch this. Right click, add action, audience look, worship. Automatically switches. That's how I would start setting this up. That's like the first thing I would do. And check this out. Let's go back to edit looks real quick. This is going to be important because now that we have both of these, so on worship, I don't want any messages. I don't want any props. I don't want the announcements. I don't need them. When I go through announcements with you guys, I will go to our other computer. I think that would be a little easier. I don't need video input. This is all I need. So that'll save just like that. Let's go to our sermon. So I don't need messages or props because I don't want anything that can be over the words. We already have our presentation for that picked. I need the slides. If I get rid of the slides, it won't show any of the words. We need that. But you know what? I don't want the media for that. I don't need the video input either. Sorry, getting a phone call. But look at that. Now it just saves exactly how I want it to be. So these are the first steps I would take when setting up ProPresenter. Get into your themes, get into your looks. Then you can do things like a stage screen, whatever. But these are the very first things I would do. How can I make it look good for presenting this Sunday? You can drag whatever songs you import through here down into a playlist, and then you're all this right here gets you ready for Sunday. So I hope this video is helpful for you.